Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my foundation collection slash telling you which ones are my favorite, which ones I would skip out on, what types of skin these foundations are good for, some of my regrets. So yeah, I have always loved foundation. Foundation has always been something ever since I first started really getting into makeup in when I was 13, 14. Foundation was always something that I loved. I loved the way it transformed your look. I loved how you look so much more put together. If I am not happy with my foundation, I won't be happy throughout the entire rest of the day. So foundation to me is very important. If a foundation has been talked about on YouTube, there is like a 99% chance that I have tried it. I love foundation. I don't mind spending money, a little bit more money on foundation, but with that being said, some of my favorite foundations are from the drugstores. So before I ramble anymore, let's just jump right in. So these foundations are in no particular order. I'm just gonna jump right in and we will get started. My first foundation is the YSL Le Teint Touche Eclat. This is actually their old packaging or whatever. I love this foundation so much. I have summer foundations and I have winter foundations, and this is definitely a summer foundation. I love this for the summer. This is actually my second bottle. I am in the shade BD50. I don't know if they still have that color in their new, formulation of it, but I absolutely love it. It literally looks like your skin. This is definitely a very dewy foundation, and so if you have oily skin, I would probably either really set my face, but this or skip out on this one. But this one is so beautiful. It gives you just a glow. I actually forgot I even own this. This is by far one of my favorite foundations. It is definitely a higher end foundation, and it does have a pretty big price tag, but it is one of my all-time favorites for summer. I rarely use this in the winter, but in the summer this is my go-to foundation. It is medium coverage. You could definitely build it up, but it doesn't have too much coverage. I really like the color of this foundation. It's just the perfect beige. It's not too orange because I think it's beige doré 50, that's the color. So this one is really good, and I'm really excited to use this in the summer. Next, I have one of my foundations, my favorite foundations of all time. I actually have 3 different colors. This is the MAC Studio Fix Foundation. I don't feel like this actually gets spoken about enough here on YouTube. I just never see anyone use this stuff, and this stuff is my favorite. It's what I'm using today. It is whenever I'm I just want my skin to look amazing, I don't even want to think about it, I put this stuff on. It is a full coverage foundation. With a beauty blender, it applies flawlessly. I know when I used to think full coverage, I used to think really powdery, really matte, full coverage, but that's not full coverage at all. I am a huge fan of full coverage foundation, and this is the best full coverage foundation. It doesn't smell good. I don't know what MAC thinks. It smells literally chemicals. It just brings back memories because I used to wear this all the time 2 years ago. I have the color NC42, which is, this bottle's actually pretty much done. This is the first one I ever bought that made me fall in love with it. I have NC40, which is the one I am currently using, and then I have NC35, which is a little bit light for me. This is definitely not a drugstore price foundation, but it is not the same price as a YSL foundation or anything. So if you want to try a good full coverage foundation that doesn't break your bank completely, this is a really good option, and I really like this one. When I ran out, I like these foundations because this foundation lasts all day. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to check up on my makeup. I just know that my makeup is gonna last all day, and it really controls my oils, and it's a really full coverage foundation, and I've just been really obsessed with it. It doesn't come with a pump though. You have to buy that separately, but I just bought one, and then whatever one I want to use or whatever color I'm using, I'll just put it in that one. It just looks like this. When I first put this on, it does look a little bit orange, but then it really settles into your skin, and it is the most beautiful color. So I cannot say enough good things about these foundations. They are definitely one of my holy grail, my favorite. I cannot live without. So I guess we can stick with MAC. The next foundation from MAC I have is it's called the Face and Body Foundation. This was my shit 2 years ago. It was my favorite thing in the world. It's all I use, and this is a really good summer foundation. A really good foundation for summer when you want something light. They have a bigger size than this also, but which I used a complete bottle of when I was loving it. I'm in the color C4, and honestly, I used to use C6, which what was I thinking? But this is like, I don't really tend to like grab this too much just because it is really light, and it's like really light, like really light. You could build it up, but like it is just not one of my favorites like anymore. I don't know, every time I put it on, not only does it make me look weird in like a camera, but like if you want something that's like really light and like you don't even feel anything on your face, it's just like like a wash of like, you know, coverage, then I would go with this. But this is like not my favorite. I never really reached towards. Next, I'm gonna talk about one of my all-time favorite foundations. This is like the fullest of the full coverage foundation, and like I wear this when I like want to look literally like a flawless little baby. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation. I have the colors 05 Beige and 07 Sand. This is like I mix this actually with a drop of oil because sometimes when a foundation is really thick, this is like a thick cream. It is like a really good full coverage foundation, but it doesn't look matte. It's like really dewy, a really good full coverage foundation, especially mixed with oil is like how I like it the best. Ali actually bought this for me in 05 Warm Beige, but then I got 07 Sand, and if I could just have every foundation in this color, I would be like the happiest girl in the world, because it is the perfect color for someone like with my skin tone. It is like the perfect color. It is not too orangey, it's not too beigey, it is like the perfect color. I don't wear this every day because it's just so heavy. Like it doesn't feel heavy, but it's like thick, so it's hard to wear every day. But like if I'm going out, or if like on the weekend I really want my makeup to be like, you know, flawless, I'll wear this. This is like, it stays all day. It is so good. This is like, everyone loves this. And it has a pump, which is really nice. I guess sticking on drugstore foundations, I have the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD High Definition. This foundation is a little bit more watery. It does have a really nice coverage. I wouldn't say that it is has high of a coverage as the Milani. It has like a medium to full coverage, definitely buildable. This is like a really good everyday foundation. It's supposed to be comparable to the Makeup Forever HD foundation, which is one foundation I detest. I hate that foundation. But this is like amazing, and when I first got this I was so impressed. And it has grown to become one of my favorites for every day. Normally, like when I go to school, I don't want to use like my amazing foundations, you know, like my $80 a bottle foundations. I'll gravitate towards like this one, or like someone that's my Studio Fix, which is like $30 a bottle. So this one is like, it is so good. I'm in the color Warm Beige. I should get a shade lighter because this is a little bit dark, but I don't mind a dark foundation, to be honest. I get like pretty like oily like in my T-zone. It happens with all of them, some more than others, but this one tends to keep it under control. I don't really need to blot all that much, and it looks good at the end of the day after like being at school all day, which is like a telltale sign that a foundation is good. So this one is like not expensive at all. I think it's like $10. It has a pump too, which is good. So I would definitely recommend purchasing this if you want something like medium or full coverage for every day. Moving on, I have the Cover FX Foundation Natural Finish Oil Free Foundation in the color G50. This is a cream foundation. It is like a cream. It's not runny at all. I actually used to love this foundation, and recently I used it again, and I don't know if it's like the color or something, but I don't really love it. And when I say this stuff is dewy, it is so dewy. It is like, it looks literally like it's made up of 90% oil and like 10% whatever else foundation is made of. And I don't know, like I put this on, like I got this last Easter, and I put it on and I was like, oh, this is like so nice. And it has like a pretty good coverage. I like a dewy foundation, but like I like something that has like, you know, some staying power. Like I used to love this foundation. It is still a good foundation. Like I'm not saying it's a bad foundation. I'm just saying it's not one that I gravitate towards. Like I forget that I own this, but maybe I'll have to try it again. I just like, it's not like one of my all-time favorites, and it was pretty expensive, I think. This is like, it's like whatever. It's not like, it's not like terrible, it's just whatever. You guys have heard me talk about these little babies so much. These are the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundations. I have the color Golden Tan and Beige. I don't know what's been up recently. Whenever I use this, I kind of regret using it. I don't know if I like have to wait. It's like one of my summer foundations because I love this in the summer. Maybe like I just don't like the color beige. Like speaking of beige, my whole stick of foundation like flew out of the tube. It's all like ruined now, and I was not too pleased about that. I don't know. These are still a really good full coverage foundation. They're really fast to apply, but I personally just feel like they haven't been giving me that wow factor recently. I'm gonna try them again in the summer. There's no doubt that these are an amazing product. I do love them. I have them in 2 colors. Like I really do love them. Overall, it is a really good foundation. I do recommend it. It stays all day. It is good for dry skin. It's good for oily skin. It is like all around a good foundation. It's waterproof. Do like these, but maybe I just don't like the color beige. I'll let you know. So next I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This was Allie's. It made her break out, and like I kind of just ended up with it. This is in the color Tawny, and I honestly, this stuff scares me. Like this stuff feels like you have a mask on when you wear it. Like it's just, these are all just my opinions, but like when I put this on, my face feels like it's like drooping down. Like it is just being pulled down to the ground, and it is just so heavy. It is waterproof. It doesn't have a pump. This is like the epitome of like what you think about when you think like a full coverage foundation, where you just feel the full coverage. If you have any solutions on like how to make this work, I would love to hear them. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I actually like mixing this one with the one I'm going to talk about next, the Armani Luminous Silk. I have the color Sand. This is like a really good everyday foundation. It is so natural looking, a really nice coverage. It sits on my skin beautifully. It doesn't get oily. Whenever I wear this one's actually empty. I have to go pick a new one. Like, even though I have a million foundations, and any other person would be like, you don't need another foundation, like I look at it and I'm saying like, but you're all so different, and like so many different ways. You're all amazing, and I need all of you at the same time in case I need, like, to me every foundation has a different purpose, you know, but this one is like just so good. I need to repurchase this one. It is like, this is my second tube bottle of it actually, and I'm gone through it, so if that's any indication of how much I like this one, it is like one of my all-time favorite. I think everyone likes this. So next I have my holy grail. Like if you're like, what's your #1 foundation, I'd be like, this one. This is the Luminous Silk Foundation, Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I first tried this. I remember I was working as a hostess at a restaurant here, and I saved up all of my tip money, and I was like, I'm finally gonna get my Luminous Silk Foundation. I felt so guilty. I think this is like $70 here after tax here in Quebec. This is like my 4th bottle of this foundation. It is so good. I'm in the shade 7. This foundation is medium to full coverage. It's definitely buildable. It doesn't, like, I didn't use this for a while because I was trying to use all of my other foundations. I used this again like for the past 2 days, and I was just blown away. Like every time I use this for a while, I'm like, let me venture off and check my other foundations, and then I come back to this and it always blows my mind. It is like the perfect finish. It is not too dewy. It's not like the Cover FX foundation where you look at it and you're like, I look like an oil slick. This one gives you a really good, like, flawless finish with luminosity in it. It's not like dewy. It has like luminosity in it. It is so good. It lasts like all day. People say that it doesn't have enough coverage for them. It has like a really good coverage. I cannot say enough good things about this foundation. If you want to try one foundation out of all of this, I would recommend trying this one. Can't live without this. Like if I'm starting to run out, I will go and pick up another one before I run out because I don't like living without it. On that same note, let's just sit here for a moment and talk about the new Power Fabric foundation. Now, everyone and their mother has been trying this and loving this foundation. Now, also, everyone and their mother has been sponsored by Armani, who I've seen loving this foundation, so take it with a grain of salt. For me, the Armani Luminous Silk has a good coverage. Today, I bought this like maybe 3 weeks ago. And I tried it, like I wanted it to work. Like I tried it like for 4 days straight, and every time I wanted to like scratch my face off. I did not like it at all. Like first of all, Armani, please tell me why you did this. If I am #7 in Luminous Silk and I get #7 in Power Fabric, why are they completely 2 different shades? This one is like the perfect goldeny beige, beautiful. This one is pure like beige. Like paint your walls with it beige. Like it is so beige. It has no golden undertones to it at all. I don't know why. They're not the same at all. I don't get it. But anyways, I tried doing my makeup today. I was like, I want to have a good understanding truly about this foundation. Maybe I didn't like it, you know, like last week, but I'll like it this week. So I put it on this today. I did my makeup and I looked in the mirror and I was like, this is awful, you know, like knowing that I have other foundations that are better, I could not live with that on my face. So I literally washed my foundation off. My stuff didn't blend well on top of it. It is a full coverage foundation, but like I prefer like a buildable to full coverage foundation. It doesn't have the same luminosity that this has. I'm just not impressed by this. I would skip the Power Fabric foundation and go for the Luminous Silk foundation. I don't know, like I'm gonna let Allie try this because this is probably her color. This is my like favorite thing in the world, and this is like a foundation from hell for me. Like I really wanted to love you. I was so excited, and first of all, you really made me mad with the color, and then I was not impressed. And every time I wore this, I wanted to take my makeup off the second I finished. We're coming to an end, guys, don't worry. I have the Naked Skin, this is actually like really old, the Naked Skin Urban Decay foundation. This is like pretty far down, not because I like it, because I detest this foundation. I got this when I was in grade 11, and I wore this for the first time on my convocation, like my graduation ceremony, and I hated it. And you know, like I should have known, like don't try a new product when you have an important date. You know why? Because it looks powdery. I have tried this so many times because I wanted to like it. First of all, it is so liquidy. It's like water. And then you blend it out and it has like this powdery finish. What I use this for is to blend it down my neck because I don't want it to go to waste. I don't want to use my expensive foundation, so I just take a pump of this, blend it down my neck. This is in the shade 7. So let's talk about this little baby right here. This is the Peru Gold from Guerlain. I did a first impression on this. I really like this foundation. Again, the shade range on this was not like the best. One of my favorite foundations, I have to say, but I don't like it more than the Armani, and this was $100, I think. It is a really light, really pretty foundation. It has a good finish. I do have to say, now that I have it, I like it a lot, but over Armani or this, I would choose the Armani. It's less expensive. It is really like dewy. I don't know how it would work on like oily skin. So then I have the Vita Lumiere Satin Smoothing Fluid Makeup from Chanel. I have this, oh, and for the gold, I have it in the shade 03 because 04 was so dark. I have this in the shade 50. My mom, this is her favorite foundation. She tried mine and loved it. This foundation is really good for summer. Like I bought this in the winter. I don't love it in the winter. I know for the winter, I like a more, you know, when I don't have that much of a tan, I like a more full coverage foundation that sticks to my face. This is like a very pretty foundation. It's like the YSL. It's very luminous and pretty, and for the summer it's like to die for. It's light, it has a medium coverage, you know, it's not like the Studio Fix or anything. I cannot wait for summer to wear this because I know that I'm going to absolutely adore this in the summer. You definitely need to set this, like you need to set this, but it has a really nice luminous finish. This compared to the Luminous Silk, this one has a little bit more like dewiness. This one is made to like brighten your skin and cancel any dullness, and it definitely does that. The texture of this foundation is like amazing. Okay, so one of my all-time favorite foundations from the drugstore is the Maybelline Fit Me number 230. This foundation is like really dewy. It has a nice glow to it. And it is like, I always get compliments on my face when I wear this foundation. I get more compliments with this foundation. Every time I wear this foundation, without doubt, someone is like, what foundation do you wear? And it blows my mind because I wear like so many foundations, and this is the only one that I really get stopped every time I wear. And I just adore this foundation. I don't wear it too much. I'm actually running low. This is like my 3rd bottle of it. It stays all day. It has like the perfect glow to it, and it is just so nice. So I definitely recommend this foundation from the drugstore. It is my like probably my number 1 from the drugstore for every day. The Milani's my number 1 for like full coverage. This is just like, everyone loves this. It is so good. Then I have this Graftoban Cosmetics foundation palette. This one has, I ordered this on Amazon. It is in the Super Palette Warm number 30245. What this is it has all of these different foundation colors. These foundations are really, really, really good. And if you're someone like me who like changes up their foundation color like all the time, like fake tan, not fake tan, fake tan, not fake tan. This is like really, really good for you. I recommend picking this up because it is a little bit pricey. I think it was like $70, which is like not pricey compared to some of these, but you get so many different colors. You get like all of these dark ones. This is actually what I use to contour, and sometimes I highlight with these. These are like the ones that I use, like right here. These are the ones I use. These are really, really good full coverage foundation that don't feel heavy, and I would recommend picking it up because you could contour with it as well. This is one of my best purchases, I think. So that was all of my foundations. If you have any suggestions for me, if you think I'd like a foundation, let me know. If you have any tips on how to apply the foundations I said I didn't like, definitely let me know. I'd love to hear them so I can use them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will definitely answer them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.